So is my screen is visible to you all?
Yes.
Yes. So I think most of them are new joining for today. I think today it will be the first session for you all, and the Rupesh is attending from past week, right? Hi everyone. So I just want the quick introduction for of everyone like Dev, uh, Rupesh, and also Santosh, Sairam, and SB, and also Prajisha. So hi everyone. So can I have quick introduction of yourself for now? So we'll start with Dev. So hi Dev.
Yeah, hi. My name is Dave, and I'm working on cloud applications and looking to move my career in this data analytics side. That's the reason I'm here.
Okay, perfect. So which cloud have you been working with?
I'm working for Oracle CPQ.
Okay, perfect, Dev. Yeah. Prajisha.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah.
I actually did my BTech and then I did my MBA, and I'm
Mm,
new to this thing, so I'm just starting with the data analytics part.
perfect.
Okay.
So what about Santosh?
Hello.
Yeah, hi Santosh. Yeah.
Hi, ma'am. Myself, Santosh. I used to be working in Silent like past 1 year. It is a pure data entry related related work I worked. So I want to shift to my career in data analyst. That's why I'm here.
Okay, perfect. And yeah, SB and Saira. Hi, my name is Nikima. I'm working as a engineer. Currently, I is data analyst, so I'm here. I have my master's in mathematics and located in thanks. Thank you so much, everyone. So, and Sai Raman, so have you introduced yourself? So now, yeah, we are having the different professionals with the data analytics, right? So firstly, so we have to understand what are the tools and technologies we have to learn for the data analytics and what is data analytics, right? So first 10 minutes we'll have a quick introductions into the domain what you are looking for, and then we can begin with the demo, right? It's not a demo, so it will be directly introduction sessions, and we'll be moving on to the core part directly, right? So here, what is analytics? Analytics is something of we'll be converting all the raw data into the meaningful insights by using various tools and technologies. It might be analytics might include Excel, it includes Power BI, it includes Python and SQL, and it is it is perfect for beginners and professional both who are aiming for upskill and getting into the new jobs. Okay, so here, along with these tools, what it is, the spreadsheet, Excel, Power BI, Python, SQL. So along with that, so you should be having a knowledge of how to do your visualizations, right? How, and also the basic knowledge into the statistics and predictive modeling. So we will learn here today about the statistics and also the predictive model along with the visualizations and the data cleaning. So now this is what the data analytics is. What is data? Basically, there are two kinds of data. One is qualitative data and another one is quantitative data. Okay, so here in the data, everyone you can note down. Okay, so while listening, so see in the data, there are two kinds. So screen is visible, right? Notepad, the notes. So here, yeah. So what is the data? Data is nothing but it is an information. In the data, there are two kinds. One is qualitative data and the second one is quantitative data. Okay. Qualitative data also called as categorical data. Okay. So qualitative data is also called as categorical data, and the nominal data, it is a subdivisions of the qualitative data. So what does here the nominal data does? Categories without order, in the sense without order will be filling all the details. Okay, so suppose the gender we can take, in the gender we'll be having male, female and others, correct? The same way in the colors also, red, black, white, blue. So there is no particular order rearranged, or first male has to come first, female has to come first, or other has to come. There is no regularities or category orders within it, correct? So that is called as such type. This is just an example, these three things: the marital status, color and gender, which comes under the nominal data. So what is this nominal data? A data which can be categorized without any orders. Orders in the sense we can't list it in a sequential order or else a chronological order. That kind of data are known as nominal data. And the second one, we are having ordinal data. Ordinal data in the sense it will be categorizing the all the orders with the meaningful definitions, right? So the definitions are nothing but, suppose we can take the education level. In education level, we'll be writing from the highest to lowest or lowest to highest, from high school and bachelor's and then master's and then PhDs, right? So like this, we'll be writing order wise. So that is called as categories with a meaningful order, but no consistent difference between them. So this is the best example for ordinal data, and there is a satisfactory level, the second one. So how do we write the satisfactory level? Very satisfied, dissatisfied, neutral, satisfied, and very satisfied, like this, correct? So this is one of the thing. Apart from this, what we can write? The performance. Academic performance or the work performance, anything it might be. So it will be in the three level: very low, excellent if he is doing good, and average if doing a average performance, right? Need improvement, like that. So all the things will be writing in the performance. So that all comes under the ordinal data. So whenever you try to deal with any data in the real time, so how do you approach the data? So what kind of data you are dealing with, whether it is ordered or unordered. Unordered means nominal data, ordered data means ordinal data. And these both data type comes under the qualitative data, that is the textual form of data, and also it can be called as categorical data. Okay, so this is very important to understand about the data first. And then, so here we are having the quantitative data, that is also called as numerical data. What is this numerical data? The number, any data which includes number and it can be measured and countable. Okay, so which can be countable and which can be measured is called as numerical data, that is a quantitative data. And in that we are having the two kinds. What are those two kinds? One is discrete data and continuous data. Discrete data in the sense which can be countable in terms of number, which doesn't include any decimal values and also the fractions in it. So basically, whatever data we count, correct? So the number, suppose number of students in the class. So I can write it 9. 9 participants are there in the class. Okay, this is direct answer with the number, with the countable number. I can count number of participant out here. We are having 9 participant. Number of scores in the cricket match, that is 210. And number of siblings, right? That is 2, like that. So we can add the direct answers with the countable numbers, which should not include any decimal points and the fractions in it. Okay. So, and then the second one is continuous data. So continuous data is nothing but it can be measurable data within the value of the range. It can be the continuous in the sense it can include the decimal and also sometimes the fractions also, but most probably fractions are not included, but the decimals can be added here in the continuous data. So there are two kinds of data. One is qualitative and quantitative. Qualitative data are further divided into nominal data and ordinal data, and quantitative data are divided into discrete data and continuous data. Okay, so now we have to go through with the statistics. Okay, so let me open that PDF. See what to what extent the statistics is very important for data analyst. Okay, only for the position of data analyst for different domains. So we have to learn more things into the statistics. But at the beginner level of the statistics is well and good for the data analyst. Why it is important to do the predictive model and also the predictive analysis. The statistics is very important. Okay, so basically we have to understand what is statistics. Statistics is nothing but it is a data, right? So what is statistics? Basically, statistics is a collection of data which can be analyzed, interpreted, presented, and organized in a proper structured way is called as statistics. Okay, statistics is a study of collection, analysis, interpretations, presentations, and also organizations of the data is known as statistics. Fine. So what are the types of statistics we are learning now? Now, statistics are divided into two kinds. One is descriptive statistics and second one is inferential statistics. The first one is descriptive statistics. The second one is inferential statistics. So here, what is descriptive statistics? Any data which can be measured, calculated, and it can be calculation of central tendency and also the dispersions. Okay, so these are called as descriptive statistics, where we can calculate over here. So there are subdivisions till here. This includes the calculations. Okay, so these are all the topics. It will comes under the topic of descriptive statistics only, where we will be measuring the central tendency. What is central tendency? The calculation of mean, mode, median, right? Standard deviations, all those things comes under the central tendency. And again here measures of dispersion, range, variance, standard deviation, percentiles, and quartiles comes under the dispersion. Okay, so what is central tendency? Calculation of mean, mode, median. What is dispersion? It is a branch of descriptive statistics where we can calculate the range, variance, standard deviation, percentiles, and also the quartiles. Fine. So this is all about the descriptive statistics. And again, graphical representation is very important. Why? Because so there will be like someone with a technical background and someone with a non-technical background. We may get the stakeholders. They won't understand what the central tendency is. They won't understand what is the dispersion is. At that time, what we have to make them easy, we have to show all the things in a graphical representations, and also we have to represent the outlier in the sense what are if the data is outside the boundary, so we have to verify that and we have to present that as an outlier, right? And the next one is correlations and covariance. So what is this correlation and covariance? Correlation and covariance are nothing but, so there what is variable? Basically variable are nothing but they contains the data. Okay, they are acts as a container and it stores the data. Okay, so that is called as variable. If there is a two variables, we will be understanding the relationship between them. Okay, for an example, number of hours studied by the student and the number of marks he gained. Okay, so these are the two things which impacts a lot. So here, what is correlation and covariance? The relationship between, what is correlation? The relationship between two variables are called as correlation. Okay, correlation. What is this covariance? Covariance are nothing but we will check the measures of the correlated output, whether it is positively correlated or positively negative correlated or no correlations in that relationship. Okay, so this measure are called as correlation coefficient and also correlation covariance. Okay, so this is the meaning of that. We can see that practically with an example. And the next one, the probability sample space event probability function. So what is this probability? Probability sample space event and probability function. So here probability is nothing but it is a chance of occurring. So population will be taking it as whole. Okay. So and again later on, what is the sample? Sample out in the population, we will be taking some amount of the list inside the population that is called as sample. Okay. So meanwhile, we have probability function. So we'll see all those things now. And the next one is inferential statistics. So what is the difference between descriptive statistics and also the inferential statistics is, in descriptive statistics, we will be dealing with all the data and finding the solutions for it. Okay. But in inferential statistics, what we do, whatever the results, whatever the calculations we have been made, that can be taken into the predictions. In the sense, further decision, the conclusions can be done with the help of inferential statistics. Okay, this is the difference. In the descriptive statistics, we can make all the calculations with the data, we can do all the modeling with the data, and we can find out the relationship. Once all the calculations relationship has been found out, so we have to give the conclusion, right? To give the conclusions, we have to make the test in the sense whether the positive relations we are having or negative relation. There are two kinds of tests, one is t test and another one is z test, and we have one more that is chi-square test. Okay, so those tests helps us to know the relationship between the variables and the data, the solutions, the output we have got, so that where we can take a in deep line of decisions regarding to the data analysis. Okay, so here there is a hypothesis testing with an example. We can check it out with the practically. So what is statistics? We understood. So for an example, the statistics we can give the numbers, the numerical data again, it will be included. So this is the one, 4 out of 5 dentists recommend in the average score of the students in the science test was 65 out of 100, right? The minimum number of the participants required for the workshop is 70. The number of students present in the class is 11. And yeah, like that. So we'll be writing all the numerical data. So this is an example of fraction again. This is ordinal, sorry, it's not on ordinal, it's a continuous data. And this is also the continuous data, and this is a discrete data, right? These are the types of data we have learned. And again, so statistics is further divided into descriptive and inferential statistics. What is descriptive statistics? Descriptive statistics helps us to understand and present the data in a clear form. In the sense, we'll be understanding, exploring the data, correct? And then we will be presenting the data in a proper manner. This is called as descriptive statistics. So just a second. So what is this inferential statistics? Basically, the inferential statistics is the statistics where we can do the predictive models. Okay, so we can perform the predictive model in the inferential statistics. Basically, the descriptive statistics helps us to understand and present the data in a clear way without any predictions model. But whereas here in the descriptive statistics, what we do, we will be making it right for the decision making purpose and drawing of the conclusion. Whatever the data we calculate, by that we will be whatever the solutions we have been calculated with the help of descriptive statistics, at last the inferential statistics we make that allows, okay, so it is a branch of statistics allow us to make the predictions or generalizations about the large population based on the sample of the data. It helps us to draw the conclusions using data from the smaller group to understand the border of the context. Okay, so here we'll be taking all the data for the decision making conclusion. So what are the tools we'll be using for this to make the conclusion? So that is t-test, z-test, chi-square test, and hypothesis testing. Okay, so for an example, so the relationship between hour of study by the students and the mark score. Okay, and also estimating the average of the height of the populations with the confidence interval, right? So what is this confidence interval? There are two kinds, one is mean and mean. So confidential level of mean, that is average of all the items, are called as population's height. Okay, so this is a confidential interval. And then Shikant, like, what are you not getting? So I'm just telling you about what are the types of statistics we are having. One is descriptive and inferential. What is descriptive means? Descriptive in the sense, so I have explained you out here only. So here it includes the calculation of the data in the different ways. So it can be the calculation of central tendency, and it is a calculation of dispersions. Out of here what we can make, so here calculation of mean, median, mode. Right, we'll see all these things with the lab activity now. So that's why, so we'll explaining in the theoretical way first, and then we can go with the lab activity. Fine. So here, whatever the calculations part comes under the descriptive, and where we'll be finding the conclusions and the solutions for that is called as inferential statistics out here. And then, as I told you, the types of data, again, it is divided over here with the qualitative and quantitative. Apart from that, what are the kinds of data we'll be having? It might be in a structured way. Sometimes it will be in an unstructured way. What is structured and what is unstructured? Basically, structured data are something which will be included in the rows and column with a column header, with a row header. Okay, so that is called as structured data. And what about unstructured data? Unstructured data, for example, we can give it as a notepad where there will be a no structured form of recording the data, right? So that is called as unstructured data. So this is structured data where we can record all the rows and the columns, all the data in a rows and column. Unstructured data is something called as, we can do that. Okay, so we can make it in a unstructured way, in the sense there is no proper way of the format or the framework will be followed to record the data. So that is called as unstructured data. Fine. So and we are having the cross data, so cross sections, in the sense whatever the data we are having. So here you can see, so every data will be added at a one point. So for an example, we can give the results of the exam at one time, right? And these are one-time presentations of the data are called as cross sections. Okay, and time series, the word time series data only tells that we will be handling with all the time interval data. That is, it might be the daily database, or it might be the monthly data, or it might be the quarterly data. So if you are dealing with the kind of data types, that is called as time series data. Okay, so there is univariate, bivariate, and multivariate types also in a data. So where we will be dealing with the data called as univariate, which means single variable. What is variable? Variable are the type of data or a container which will be included the data. Okay, what is variable? Variable are a container which stores the data. That is a single variable, that is single data. In the sense, one column data, it is called as univariate. What is bivariate? Bivariate in the sense will be recording the two variables. That is, for an example, I can give it out. So now we can give here example. Suppose I'll add here month. Okay, this is what? This is a variable. This is a column, but in generally in the coding language, what we tell, so the columns in the sense the header will be calling as a variable, in which, so this is a header part. Okay, this is a column header or a fields, whatever we have in the Excel. So here if I write any data related to that column, Jan, Feb, right, March, April, June, July, right? Right, like this. So similarly, the sales I can write. So suppose the sales 1,200, 2,000, 4,000. Let it be blank. Okay. So suppose you have the data in this form, you have a sales data and also the month data. So these are the two attributes. One is month and one is sales. So here this header column can be called in a various way. So this can be called as a column. This can be called as a month, and sale can be called as an attribute. This can be called as a matrix, and this can also be called as a parameters. Okay, it depends on the technologies, the tools what you use, but these headers can also be called in these names. Okay, the various names. So according to this analysis, we have to compare both. Okay, firstly, we will be calculating the descriptive statistics, that is the calculation of central tendency, how I showed you in this one, right? So whatever the things it comes here, the calculation of mean, okay, the calculation of mean, median, mode, variance, standard deviation, percentiles, and also the quartile. Okay, so these are the things we have to calculate with the help of descriptive statistics. We can do that with the help of Excel. Okay, so what is the Excel version we'll be using out here? We will be using the Excel version, that is 365. Okay, Microsoft 365, which supports all the dynamic functions, and the advanced functions and formulas are inculcated compared to the older version of student, that is 21. Okay, so now we'll go back to the Excel. See, we are having the variables, that is month details and also the sales details. It is in a structured form. Okay, so now what we have to do? So suppose you want to calculate the mean, median, mode, and the range, average. So all those things, it would be taking a little time if you are doing with the manual thing. Suppose we'll do it that. So mean, median, right? Mode, and standard deviation, variance, right? Range, minimum value, maximum value. Suppose you want to do it manually, so how you would do? So equal to mean. Mean is nothing but average. How does the average is calculated? Average is calculated by summing up of all the values divided by the number of value are called as average or mean. Okay, so here I'll write average and you can select the number of list out here. So these are the list Jan to September and you can close the parenthesis, enter. This is 2085.71 is what it is the average of this sales. Okay, so and similarly, so if you want to make the sum, okay, so how to calculate the sum in a shortcut key? Alt equal to, right? Or if you press alt equal to, so it will give you the sum value, the formula with it directly. So now we can see it is 14,600 is a total. Okay, so the meanwhile, so if you divide this by the 7, so 7 is what? 7 is nothing but the number of counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? And 8 we are having. So you can include that. Okay, so like this. So 14,600 divided by 8 will gives us the average value. Okay, what is the formula for to calculate the mean? So summing up of all the value divided by the number of value are called as mean. And once again the median. So how does this median is calculated? Equals to, you can write with the median formula and select the number of range. So basically the median is calculated how? So we will be arranging, okay, so this sales we are having, right? So this sales can be arranged in a ascending order or descending order, and whatever the middle value we get, so that is called as median. Okay, so now median B2 to B9, so we'll get 2000. Okay, so if the data is arranged in an ascending order, suppose we'll arrange it now. So I'll select the data and ascending order. So you can see it out. So if the data is arranged in an ascending order, so yeah, 1 second. Copy this one and paste it out here. Right, so here you can see how much value we are having. So we have the count of 7. Okay, so what is the middle value here? If this data is divided into 2 parts, the first 3 will be divided and the second 3 will be divided in equal parts, and whatever the remaining the middle value is called as median value. Okay, so here 2000 the middle value we got it. Whether the data is arranged in a descending or ascending, any kind of sorting will works for this. So if the data is arranged in an ascending order or descending order, the middle value are considered as median. Okay, so and what is this mode? Mode is nothing but suppose equal to mode. So just select the data. So how many repeated values we are having? So that is considered in this. So if you observe, so this 1200 is repeated twice, 1200 and 1200. So what the most repeated values will be added in the mode. And likewise the standard deviation equals to STD deviation. Yes, right. So, and you can select the standard deviations also. Standard deviation is nothing but it is a calculation where we can check how much the area has been spreaded across the month, right? The value, how much the value has been spread across the data is called as standard deviations. So here that is 1062. This is what the spread of the data has been taken with these 9 months. Okay, and then what is variance? Again you can calculate equal to variance and then you can select the data, so it will gives you the results of variance. In the sense it will be square root of standard deviations we can call. And what is range? Range is nothing but the difference between minimum value and the maximum value is called as range. So for this, what we can make, so here first we'll calculate the minimum. So equal to minimum. Okay. So what is the minimum value we are having out of the range? So we are having 1100. And what is the maximum value we are having? So we are having, I think, 4000, right? So the similarly equal to maximum, and then open parenthesis. So here you can select the data and close the parenthesis and enter. So this is 4000 is the data what we got. This is actually calculating one by one. It is time consuming and it takes more time to gather the informations. Okay. So what is the other alternative way for the quick analysis? So here equal to, we can minus minimum value and the maximum value. So here we get minus 2900. Okay. So or else you can so here for this data it doesn't support, but we can go with this only. So equal to minimum value minus maximum value will gives us the result of 2900. This is the range. The difference between the minimum and maximum value in the range is this one. Okay. And that is 2900. But here I want to make it with a one go with a data analysis. So here this is our Excel with the version of Microsoft 365. And how to check your version, go to file, and here in the account details you'll be having this one, the Microsoft 365 account. So if it is the different one, so you have to upgrade it on. Okay. So with the single subscription we can log in with 2 to 3 accounts parallelly. That is Microsoft 365, right? So and then go back here, the data. Okay, so here we are having the data tab. So by default, you may using the different version. It depends on the version. There will be available in the data tab this analysis tool pack. Okay, so for data analyst, this particular data tab is very important, where we'll be learning the forecasting, what if analysis, and some of the data validation, sorting, right? And the query and the connections, and also get and data transform, that is extract and transform both. What happens here in the data analysis? So here if you double tap on the analysis, so here the descriptive statistics we can select. Hence we are learning about the descriptive statistics. We can see with this only the lab activity with the descriptive statistics. Okay. So here we can see that data analysis tools, correct? So what are the statistical tools we are having? In the sense it is integrated in the Excel to the practice of the students in a open source, correct? So here the calculation of ANOVA we are having. ANOVA in the sense in that we are having the two kinds. One is replication and without replications. If the duplicates value are repeated a number of times, we can use with replication process of finding the relationship between two variables. So what are two variables? Two variables are the two different categories or different attributes where we consider to find out the relationship between them. Advertisement, amount spent, and the sales of profit. So these two again are different attributes and the variable. Okay. So here if you are learning about the relationship between these two things, ANOVA helps us to understand it. Okay. And again, we are having the correlation and covariance. So if you observe here, correlation and covariance. So as I mentioned earlier, correlation is nothing but we will be understanding the relationship between the variable. And covariance is again, we are understanding the relationship between the variable with the positive relation or negative relation or no relation or a moderate relations. We are understanding it. Okay. So, and again, here the descriptive So, and descriptive statistics is a calculation of central tendency and also the calculation of dispersion. Fine. So here I'll enable this descriptive statistics and give it. So now after this, what we have to do here, we have to select the input range. So what is the input range you want to calculate? So just click on the up arrow in the dialog box and select the data from B, the original data, that is B1 to B9. Okay. So once you have selected, click on the drop down and then here label in the first row. You have to enable this. Why? Because the first row has the header. Okay. And the output range we have to select again up here. So I'll choose the location where the details need to be appeared. And after this, enable the statistics, summary, confidential level, and kth largest and kth small. Once all these settings are done, give OK. So now we can see automatically it took like 5 to 10 minutes to calculate all those things, but in one go after selecting with the data analysis tool, but we are able to calculate all these things. Right, so here we have calculated with the mean. So the same value, median is same, standard error. So error in the sense any outlier present in that error, it will gives us. And again the standard deviation, which is very important, it helps us to understand. Okay, it helps us to understand the spread of the data. Okay, spread of the data calculations can be done with the standard deviations. And sample variance. So variance is a square root of that standard deviation is that. So what is kurtosis and what is skewness? Skewness and kurtosis are again the statistical terminologies where it is used for calculation of the relationship, in the sense whether it is positively skewed or negatively skewed. How we can do that? It can be again calculated in the data range of 1, 0 and -1. That is +1, 0 and -1. For an instance, so this is your, the data line. Suppose imagine Chaitanya, Suma, Dev, Prajisha, Surupesh, SPN, Suma. So, and Sairam. So, are you getting right? So, any doubts so far? Are we all there?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, we are able to understand. One question I have. Normally, like in our mathematics, right? Maybe in school we would have actually studied about mode is equal to 3 median minus 2 mean. That was the formula we always does. But here, if I do that right, we'll get around 2000 change like that. Okay, but here we are actually like
No,
taking
what
mode
is
as.
mode basically?
Mhm.
Yeah. So here it is completely, so that it is already predefined already in the Excel, right? Not only in the Excel, if you do with the programming language with the same data, you'll be getting the same mode data. Okay, so here median means the same thing. You'll be arranging all the data in ascending order and descending order. Then you'd have calculated the middle value. That is median. So mode is nothing but the meaning of mode is most frequently repeated value, right? So here, if I go for the Google, just a second.
Yeah, sure, ma'am. Got it.
See, yeah, even if you calculate with the mode with the lower boundary, highest width with the calculation, the frequency here, the frequency is what? The meaning of frequency means the repeated value. So how many times it has been repeated? In the sense, first value will be taking, and the second value will give it as F2, and the middle value we give as F1, sorry, F0, correct? So by adding all these things with this formula, so it will be getting the same output. I think there is some mistakes in the formula you have written. But this data is not in a class interval. So it is a discrete data, what I have given, the example. It is only the
Yeah.
month having. So, right. So at that times, if we are using with the discrete data type, whatever the frequently repeated value, we have to take in the considerations. If it is a continuous, then only this formula will work, because it will be having the upper limit and the lower limit both. And then once we are having these upper limit and lower limit with the frequency the data, so then we can perform with this formula. So we'll be getting the accurate results, right? So like this. And then, yeah. So I'll show you with the skewness and kurtosis also. So here you can see the what is skewness. So basically in analysis, we'll not deep dive more into the skewness and kurtosis, but we should understand what is the skewness and what is kurtosis, correct? So the skewness and kurtosis are nothing but it is a statistical measure that describes the shape and the characteristics of data distributions. Okay, to understand whether the data, whatever we are having, whether it is describing with the positive or negative. Okay, so here it is a asymmetry. We can call it as asymmetry, degree of asymmetry in the distributions. Fine. So what all we can interpret, as I told you, whether it is a positive or negative, we can calculate with the help of skewness. How we can do with the help of the distribution? If the data is right, if I take the same data, okay, so there is a Julie's AI. So I'll just introduce with the AI tool as well. So here we are having the Julie's AI. What is this Julie's AI? This is actually an artificial intelligence. Most of the companies like GHX, okay, so and also the Deloitte and Walmart, right? So all these organizations, they use the Julie's AI to make the reporting. Okay. So for an example, what I'll do, I'll just select this data. Okay. So I'll select this data and I'll ask this AI to please calculate the statistics and also uh, skewness. Okay, so just give a prompt with the data set. So it starts calculating with the descriptive statistics and skewness and kurtosis, right? I'll show you how this data has been, you know, distributed among it. So here the descriptive statistics, it is calculating with the formula, that is fine. Okay. So once the calculations are done for skewness and kurtosis, what you have to make it? You have to make it with the help of graphical representations. Okay. So here they have given with the matplotlib the graphical representations and also the seaborn. We need it in a normal way, correct? So here you can see with the distributions, the sales distributions, the table they have given. So this is how it makes, the AI makes your work easier in the real-time work life also. So here Julie's AI needs subscription, but some part of the data where we can extract it freely. But one reminder I can give you is if you are working for the different data organization and you are not using the dedicated AI tools, instead of AI, you are using the private AI. So then there might be, some, not every time, sometimes there will be a threat of losing of the data or the confidential level. Okay. So you have to make sure that you'll be using the organization's provided AI only, like Julie's AI. So every organizations will be having the subscriptions, whoever into the data analytics domain, right? So now, so here you can see from the first, we'll calculate here. So what is the prompt I have given? So please calculate the descriptive statistics. We have already calculated with the manual formula and also the data analysis in the Excel. But now here also with the help of AI, so we are calculating it. And again, we are understanding what is skewness and what is kurtosis in the above data with an explanations. So here, what is the data we are having? Jan to Sep and also the sales informations. Sales for September is missing. If in case any other missing value represents, so it also track that and it gives us the explanation. So data analysis, what does it do? It will skips the missing value, excluding it. So we are calculating the mean. So as I told you how in the backend the mean is calculated, it will add all the value and divided by number of value. So that will comes around 2085.71. Okay. Chaitanya, ma'am, will teach any Python libraries used in EDA? Yes. Yeah, we can do in the Python programming language also. So here we can see that descriptive statistics. So here in this descriptive statistics, it is a calculation of central tendency. So here the first one is mean. One more time, mean is again the calculation of whole, the sum of all the values divided by number of values. Fine. So median, so if the data is arranged in an ascending order or descending order, the middle value will comes under the mean. So here mode, whatever the data which appears more than once or twice, that is called as mode. And minimum value and the maximum value we are having here 1,100 and 4,000, the same thing. And here 2,900 is a range. The same thing we have been calculated. Even this, the variance also, and also the standard deviations. So these are all fine. So now what about the skewness? So skewness is nothing but it is a calculations where the formula will be there. So this formula, it is very difficult for you to remember, but by using the coding, so we can make a use of this calculations. Okay. So here it gives, after calculations, it gives 0.98. So the same thing we have been got in this also in the Excel. So let us open. So here you can see the skewness we are having, that is 0.98. The same thing. And the kurtosis we are having 0.41. The slightly laptic. There are three kinds of analyzing. One is the peak curve, one is moderate curve, and one is lower curve. Okay, so I'll just explain you with that as well. Skewness, images. Okay, so here we are having yeah. You see this leptocritic, mesocritic, and platycritic. So if in case you're drawing, you're pointing all the sales value in the graph. After joining all the points, if the curve, it the blue line you can see, right? So if it is in a smaller platy way, then it is called as platykurtic. If it is this median, that is the average kind of curve, that is called as mesokurtic. That is called as normal. That is normal distributions also we can call for the mesokurtic. And the next one we are having the leptokurtic. So leptokurtic says that it is a higher level of positivity of the distribution of data is called as leptokurtic. So what are the three forms of kurtices we are having? One is leptokurtic, mesokurtic and platykurtic. The same thing they are explaining by giving the conclusions if the data has been. So here you can see the point wise. So here 0.75 and here we are having 0.5. So which means that the conclusions they have given, the above table shows that the sales of each month. See, this is a reporting. So this is very important for the data analyst. You have to write your own reporting for whatever the data you collect, whatever the data you analyze, you should be able to write the report like this. Okay, this is one of the main important feature. AI will generate it, but some of the times if you are put across with generating the report, you should be creating on your own. So just practice. Don't rely on the chat GPT always, or don't rely on any AI. So try to write your insights in your own words. Okay. So here you can see the above table shows that sales data for each month excluding September, or which is missing. Okay. And the descriptive statistics above table summarize the sales. So what is average, what is the mean value, what is the median, minimum value, maximum value, you have to write it. And again, so the histogram visualizations for the descriptive, that is sales showing the most months and also the cluster at the lower end with the higher outlier. And here the skewness, which is positively skewed. And the next one is the lower skewness, which is averaging up. The kurtices we are having with the platykurtic with the normal distributions itself. Okay, so here this is the one. So why I shown you first with the Julie's AI only, in the sense, if you use the chat GPT, it doesn't gives you in the same form of output. Okay, so this is data analysis tool pack only. They have designed for the data analyst, machine learners, and also the data scientist students and the professionals to work on with Julie's AI. Okay. So now you can see it is in the normal distributions only. It is not completely into the plate. It is not like a standing line, right? So it is like slightly burst and it is like this. So it says that it is a normal distribution like this, right? So here this is the data, and if it is a central line, so if the data is something like this, okay, so this is called as normal distribution. If the data is like this, it is flatty, and if the data is peaker and not bulged, so it will directly fall down like this, and this is called as leptokurtic. Okay, so like this. So this is what the types or the categories of the skewness we are having. See, leptokurtic, mesokurtic is normal distribution. As of now in this data set, we got with the measure of mesokurtic, that is with the zeros value. Okay, so wherever above 1, if we are getting, so that is always will be leptokurtic. If it is in the minus value, then it is platykurtic. Fine. So this is again one more reminder. Positive value, that is leptokurtic. If it is the value lies between zeros, the range, then it is called as mesokurtic, that is normal distribution. Platykurtic is nothing but where we have a negative outputs. Fine. So this is the plate equating. And once again, yeah. So any doubts in kurtosis and skewness? Here we'll understand the spread of the data, whether it is positive, negative, or no relation. And what about range? Range is nothing but the difference between the minimum value and the maximum value is called as a range. And minimum value and maximum value, some it will be calculated automatically, that is 14,600. And the count is 7, and largest and smallest, that is why it is repeated in the sense we have chosen when doing the descriptive statistics kth largest and kth smallest. That value will be appeared out here as the largest and the smallest. And here the confidence level. What is this confidence level? So the confidence level has 4 kinds. Okay. So one is 25%, 75%, 50%, and 95%, like that. So if it is the confidence level of me, where does it represent in the data? So it represents in the data of 982. One second.
Does anyone know, like, weekend, how many hours this classes will be? Because it's for 8 weeks, right?
Yes, Sairam. So here the sessions will be conducted for 8 weeks, right? So every week there will be a classes of 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours. Okay, so every weekend, that is Saturday 3 hours and Sunday 3 hours, that is weekly 6 hours will be having the sessions.
Oh, 6 hours. Okay, madam. Ma'am, one more thing I want to just ask. Okay, the reason why I joined this because I was actually having a conflict for the Power BI sessions. Okay, since weekday, like you have one session at 7 p.m., right? I was not able to attend. So is there anything, like, I know the Power BI is included as part of these sessions. So is there anything like how many days the Power BI will be dealt, and like are we missing anything from the classes, the Power BI, and since this is combined, right? So are you going to cover all the topics here, ma'am?
Yes, whatever the syllabus we are having will be completing here for the weekend and week days batch, both of them. So week days batch will be connecting 5 hours a week, or else 6 hours a week parallelly. So whatever we cover in entire week, so we'll be doing it in a 2 days. That is the main difference for weekdays and weekend. So that will be in a slow phase. Entire week will take for learning purpose. So here we'll learn in a 2 days and we'll practice the entire week. So this is the main difference out here. And when it comes to the projects, so we'll be learning all the projects which is mentioned in the syllabus. Right. So again, here the tools and technologies what we are learning, the Power BI. So when it comes to the Power BI, if you scroll down, so here, yeah, from installation and implementations to we'll be learning the data modeling, right, and also data integration, extractions of the data and animations of the data, right, using the artificial intelligence with that, and what are the types of visualizations we can make with the calculated columns, the measures, the calculated measures, and how to apply the filters in it, right, and the DAX functions, and also applying the slices to that. And yeah, Power BI service we are not inculcating in it, but we can see how it works in the real time. But this Power BI desktop, it is an open source version where everyone can have an access and we can practice a number of things in that. But this is actually the service, it is a cloud based. We can learn how this works in the real time, but practical lab activities, it is not able. Like if you are ready for the subscriptions, you can try with that as well.
Okay, ma'am. Yeah.
So any doubts so far, everyone? So Sairam, Chaitanya, Dev, and Rajisha, Rupesh, Santosh, SP Suma. Any doubts or questions? So even
No,
the
ma'am.
last week also we had the demo class. So today I think you all joined for the demo sessions only. So today I haven't explain more about the syllabus. Hence, we all have the syllabus copy. So directly, I just moved into the Excel concepts of statistics. So these concepts, few of them we have exploring with it. And tomorrow also we'll start with this introduction part. Okay, and some of the shortcuts we'll learn, and we will directly go with the mathematical and logistical calculations with the lookup values. So far, if you have any doubts or questions, you can ask me.
Tomorrow at what time will be the class starting, ma'am?
So the same timings, Pratisha, like 8 a.m. to 9:30 or 10, we can continue for it.
Okay, from the next weekend it will be 6 hours. For this weekend, it's just
Yeah, hence we are new to this. We are attending the demo sessions, so we'll be taking out here with a slower phase. That is from till 9:30 we can take it out, and then from next weekend it will be like 3 hours full-fledged classes.
okay. Sure, thanks.
Yeah. So, Rupesh, do you have any doubts or questions? It's about statistics.
No.
Okay. So can you drop your mobile number over here in the chat box, or else shall we hence you have registered. So we'll create a WhatsApp group so I can share all these things in the recorded session, and also the drive access, the notes and the applications. Or else email address is also fine.
Ma'am, is there any session which will be starting in the morning, ma'am? A weekend, I mean, like 3 hours, I will not be able to spend. So weekdays, whatever the session you have at 7 p.m., right? Is there anything like you can start in the early morning weekdays batch? Anything?
Yeah, we have to think for it. We'll have a word with the management regarding the morning batch starting. So once it is done, so they'll post it in the YouTube channel or the posters. So you can follow with that, or else you can go through with the websites only regarding that information. I think probably next 15 days we may start with the morning batch.
Okay, ma'am. Yeah, that would be really helpful because we can definitely we might attend for a few days, but again, like we might have some conflict. Okay, so because since my concentration is on Power BI, so wanted to have a dedicated sessions on that.
Okay, okay, great, perfect, Sairam. So you can plan for morning batch then.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Yeah.
So course detail, I'll just give it in the chat box only, Chaitanya, so you can access this link. So I have pasted in the chat box. Okay, so for everyone in the meeting, fine. I have given to you, so you can have an access of this. So fine then. So we shall, yeah, Suma, do you have any questions?
For how many weeks the batch will go on?
8 to 10 weekends, Suma.
Yeah.
And all the recordings will be given to you in the drive access, and you can have an access of all the recordings. And parallelly, so if we'll be helping out with the interview questions for each tools, like that is the provisions we are having. Along with that, so we'll be helping you for the resume preparations for 1 or 2 classes will be dedicated for that resume preparations and the guidance, like because so you'll be into the working professions with a different domain, and you have to build your resume in this domain. So that will be really complicated. So we'll be giving the two techniques what you have to follow in your responsibilities to be added with the data domain, and how your projects can be implemented. So all those things will be giving you an idea and will help you out with the preparations also. So according to that guidance, you can make a use of it. Okay, any other questions? Okay. So we shall wind up for today's demo class and the live sessions. So we'll connect tomorrow. Okay. Thank you everyone. Dev, Prajit, Rupesh, Sai, Santosh, Sairam, SB, Suma, everyone. So tomorrow we'll start up with the introduction to the Excel and we'll learn all these things. Okay. So thank you everyone.
Thank you.